Landing spots for Chris Paul. Talk to me, guys. If he was a free agent today, where would you like to see Chris Paul play? Or where do you think would be the most beneficial location for Chris Paul?
Atlanta.
Houston makes a lot of sense in terms of they lose Fred VanVleet. Reed Shepard's playing well. But when it matters most, do they need a bit of a steadying presence, a bit of a veteran leader, especially at playoff time? I think Houston makes a lot of sense. But I want to interest you guys in one spot you're probably not thinking of. Can Chris Paul play worse than Tyus Jones this year?
No.
Boy, Tyus Jones been
in Orlando.
in the mud, man.
Can he play worse than Tyus Jones this year?
I'm thinking about a place.
Would that be an upgrade?
Damian. Yeah, it
Chris
would be.
Paul at 40 be an upgrade?
Yeah.
And
That's
that's also
sad.
Damian too, where one of the best things Chris Paul's done is be a point guard whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
He can go and help Anthony Black. He can go help Jalen Suggs. He can even go help Paulo and Franz too, with some of their initiating abilities and stuff like that. I think he can go
make these shots, yeah,
and just help them a lot. I don't know on the court. I don't know how much he can contribute, but in terms of teaching and helping like those young guys, I do think that's a good location for him.
Right, he can help Paulo so much. He can help Paulo so much just by teaching him just little stuff. I think the same way he did with DeAndre Ayton with the Suns. I think
with Wemby too.
Right. Oh yeah, right. Wemby too, and Shea. I mean, but I'm more so talking about just like those big wings, the big fellas too. Like, just teaching them where to go get the ball and like just certain angles to use and just little, just the little stuff that we don't always think about in basketball. I think those are the ways that Chris Paul really helps a lot, and that's why I said Houston, just to help Reed Shepard. I think. And the men.
And the men.
Well.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be looking at Chris Paul though as like he's finna go solve any kind of on the court problem for
100%.
100%.
Yeah, if he's on your court for your team in a playoff setting in
it's probably not good.
2026, that's a problem.
He's anything but Udonis Haslem at this point. You kind of
he needs to be coaching off the bench basically. So I mean, there's a few teams he can do that for. I agree with the Rockets as long as he's not playing. I agree with Orlando again as long as he's not playing. Tyus Jones is better than Chris Paul right now. As bad as Tyus Jones is,
no, he is not. Real talk.
He's better than.
I do think we're kind of underselling how bad Chris Paul.
Yeah, y'all understand, brother. That brother's washed. It's done. It's over.
For sure.
But at the same time, Ty's been really bad too, though.
I know, but Chris Paul, it's bad. It's bad. I'm telling you.
Well, the thing that I don't want to.
It's bad for Tyus too.
Yes, it's
even worse
bad
for Tyus as well. Though
I'm and completely and utterly ineffective. And I'm not even
about to do the worst stat head comparison of all time.
Right? Oh, that's a nasty stat head, Mars. Don't do that. Please save my eyes.
I'm not even on Tyus Jones not being able to be a bucket getter, but you have to be a positive, especially at his age. Like Tyus Jones isn't old. Like he's still one of the. How old is he? If I'm not mistaken, is he 30 yet?
28, 29.
Yeah, so he ain't even 30 yet. So he's still in the prime of his career. You have to be a positive
prime.
Chris
Paul might not be able to get downhill or get by anybody consistently. Now he might not be able to do that, but he can be a positive for plays. I don't know what Tyus Jones does, and I'm the one who was advocating for him in Phoenix.
Doing what? Chill.
I was an advocate up here for Tyus Jones to go to Phoenix. I'm like, he's exactly what they need. No, he wasn't. He clearly was not exactly what they needed. I think we still look at I think there's people who still look at Chris Paul and they hear the name Chris Paul and immediately they think him going to this team, he's going to help them. Chris Paul is not. If you have Chris Paul in your rotation, heavy in your rotation, that's a problem. You are not going to be able to do much if you have him. Now, if you got him playing behind one or two other guys, and like in Atlanta, when he's playing behind both Dyson Daniels and Trae Young, that definitely helps. I think Dyson Daniels at the lead guard spot to understand how to play the lead guard spot more. Same thing in Houston. It helps Amen Thompson to play the lead guard spot. If he's got to play 50, if he's got to play substantial minutes, especially at this age, 15, 20 minutes a game, no, that's not helping you at all.
I think I have a better team that I have heard people say that I think he'll actually fit on perfectly. I think he should go back to the Spurs. They respected him. They just drafted Harper. I feel like his voice for such a young team that's actually good could be very beneficial, especially when it comes down to if they make it to the playoffs, just having that presence there to help keep the guys focused. And they're used to his personality because they just had gone through it last year and now they're really good. So I think doubling back to the Spurs, plus it's a historic franchise, I think that makes the most sense for me outside of these other teams for me.
Ron, I got a better idea. How about you go your old ass home? How about that?
Okay.
How about that one idea?
He's going
do that too.
Ironic.
Ironic.
Ironic
to hear that. Yeah.
Go home.
I wish your favorite player.
Yeah. How about go home? I mean, we see.
But chill, if that was to happen, I mean, it'll be terrible, man. If that was to happen, it's a terrible way to end such a Hall of Fame career. I think it was the same thinking I had with Russ when he was unsigned just before the season. Like you don't.
Russ won that war, by the way.
Yeah, you don't want to see some of these all timers go out sad, but
this is where we are, though, Damien.
Yeah, I know. So where we're living in now.
Russ, 37 years old. I mean, this is where we are with these guys. We're coming up to the end, and there's a reason why teams aren't as interested as they used to be because you're old.
Mm-hmm.
And what you used to have, we don't think you have it anymore.
Another part of this Chris Paul story, though, that we're not talking about. From what I've heard, and Damian, I'm no reporter. I don't have any kind of insider information. But from what you hear from, former teammates who's played with them, what you've heard about some former NBA players who were in the league with him at the time, Chris Paul isn't like well liked.
By the way,
the league,
is not like.
I think, so what I've heard from speaking to people that have played with him and coached him is he can be a very difficult personality, and I think that some of the stuff Chill touched on, if he's not one of your best players, it can get tough. And I think that he historically has done a lot better with younger guys who respect him and who respect what he's achieved in the league. I know he had a really good relationship with Dennis Schroeder. He had a really good relationship with Shea when he was in OKC, and he helped them a lot. But I think as he's gotten older, some of the more veteran guys, some of the guys that are producing more than him on the floor, but then he has friction with them in the locker room. For most of the people that I've spoken to about Chris Paul, dealing with Chris Paul, it can be the experience is very individualized because it can be a very, very tough personality. And the problem is, as you get slower, as you get older, as you get less productive, your personality stays, but your production decreases. So then that's where it gets really difficult. And I think that's what's happened here. I think
that's why the Spurs make so much sense to me.
You know what that shit sound like, Ron? That shit sound like when I get older and I can't move as fast as I used to, I get grumpier, which means I get louder and I start complaining more about things.
That's possible too.
But
it sound like that big Ox favorite player over there. It's funny how Ox always be calling people soft, huh? Sound like your favorite player don't like accountability, and he pretty soft over there in LA. And that's the reason why
that could be that very well could be true. I don't know, but it sound like from Ty Lue, it sound like every.
I'm gonna find a way.
It sound like everybody was tired of him. Like the players was getting sick of it. But what the straw that broke the camel's back, according to
the
Lou
front
Will,
office,
was the front office. When he started coming at the front office, they were like, "All right, bro, you could talk that shit to James Harden and Kawhi, but you're not.
You ain't finna talk to me when I signed you." He nah.
So that's what it is. But I also want to point this out though, y'all. Kobe Bryant made people have an unrealistic expectation of their final season. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not getting that tour. Y'all calling it a farewell year. That's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's not loved by every team's fan base. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant got a standing ovation at Arco Arena. You know what I'm saying? You could pull that off. You're getting love. Like Chris Paul is, and that's no knock to Chris Paul, because I think, to Damian's point, Chris Paul had a Hall of Fame career. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, rightfully so. But everybody's not getting that. Paul Pierce had to learn the hard way. You know what I mean?
You was Kobe?
You thought you was Kobe something? Yeah.
And that was just first of all, that was just corny about Draymond Green anyway to come from Paul.
I rock with that. I ain't gonna lie. But
either way though, like that's for everybody though. Like everybody, You know what I'm saying? A lot of people need to understand you're not getting a farewell year. You're not. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul is not at anywhere near Kobe Bryant level of loved around the world, and it's just not going to happen. People aren't flying in from all over the country to come see Chris Paul after he announced that he was retiring. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, can we tier like the stars that should get farewells then if we're doing that? Because I feel like Chris Paul is considerably better than Paul Pierce overall for like his whole career. I think that's fair to say. Like, who else would not be able to get one if he can't get one?
You should be anyone but Bron and Steph. Bron and Steph gonna get one.
Yeah,
does Harden get one?
They're gonna get one.
No. Everyone but Bron and Steph would be iffy. KD is the only. KD, yeah, KD.
Oh, KD
gets one. I think KD would get one too.
Nah, KD gets one.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm not arguing that. Those three, and then that's it. Obviously, you got the young, like the Giannis and Jokic of the world. We'll see what happens with them down the line. But like Kawhi's not seeing a farewell tour. James Harden's not seeing one. No disrespect. Westbrook's not getting one.
Russ not getting one either.
It's gonna be Bron, Steph,
DeRozan, Damian.
Should they? I think the more important question is should they? Should Chris Paul get a farewell tour? Should James Harden get one? Should Russell? I think that's the more important question. I think they should. I mean, maybe I'm sentimental. Maybe it's the players I grew up watching as well.
Why are they entitled to a farewell?
Yeah, I don't think a farewell tour is a should.
I mean, if you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, surefire. If you're a former
David
MVP,
Robinson didn't get a farewell tour, and he had announced before the season started that he wasn't playing again after this season. He had announced that, and he didn't get a farewell tour, and he was in San Antonio his entire career.
But you know what also goes into a farewell tour?
His last game, could Chris Paul do that? Drop 16 his last game?
No,
he could not.
Drop 6.
Do you guys also know what goes into this? Like, in order for you to have a farewell tour, I think, and it to be like a viable farewell tour, you actually have to be able to start and play.
That's fair.
Kobe Bryant played every single game. I'm assuming LeBron, Steph, and KD during their farewell tour. Even if, but that's
Kobe
what I'm saying.
Sucked,
even if
he was on a bum Lakers team that had nothing else to do other than let's give Kobe this farewell tour. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, you at least have to be out there. Like, I'm not gonna come and buy tickets to your farewell tour just to see you on the end of the bench waving at everybody.
No. Well, that's true.
Like,
I hear you.
You gotta at least be out there playing.
That's a fair point. I think that's a really good point you bring up because to be fair, Chris Paul's been awful. And it's like, if you're going to play like this, am I really trying to buy a ticket to see you put up 2 points, 1 assist in, 8 minutes? Like, I don't know.
Like,
I hear you on a scale from 1 to 10.
Gifted, would you fly from another country to
no,
watch Chris
No,
Paul's
the answer is no. No, I would not.
People were doing that all season for Kobe Bryant. This is 2 different levels of farewell. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just like the bar shouldn't be Kobe because Kobe's so like all-time great. It's like, are we really gonna say you have to?
Yeah, Kobe. I mean, with no Mars, the NBA kind of tried to force it with Dirk and D Wade.
Oh,
like with Dirk and D Wade.
Okay.
The NBA kind of tried to force it with them.
That's not really a.
Well,
I know, because they're not Kobe either. You know what I'm saying? But Kobe made people think that at the end of their career, here's my farewell year. Like, nah, bro, it's not gonna happen. You
even Kobe's farewell. So, like, if you remember that season, he didn't announce his retirement at the beginning of the season.
It was in the middle of the season.
It was in the middle of the season.
Yeah, he did Chris Paul. Remember when Chris Paul like 2 weeks ago it came out? Oh yeah, Chris Paul.
That was hilarious.
His last year. Kobe did that. It was like maybe like November or something. The Lakers were that bad. He was like, yeah, this is my last year. And then everything just went into what it was. But Kobe didn't come into the season on, this is my retirement year. Right.
But when he did retirement, the world went into when he did announce it. I mean, the world went into a frenzy.
Facts, and everyone
that's a fact.
Everyone gave him all the love and
right.
And then obviously where it turned.
I think it's a good point, Ox. Maybe it is reserved from for the very.
And then a couple years later, it turned into hate.
Because
I can hear that too.
Because to Mars' point, we've had you guys. I can say some of you guys up here haven't. Like, I saw Doc's farewell tour. Like, they had rocking chairs in the arena for him.
Wow! They had rocking chairs.
They had rocking chairs in the arena.
I feel disrespectful.
They did. They did the same thing, and same thing with Jabbar. They did the same thing with Jabbar. They had rocking chairs, and they gave him a piece of the parquet floor. Somebody bought him a boat, stuff like that. With Jordan, when Jordan had announced that he was retiring, it wasn't really a farewell tour.
Which he retired.
Got to be the Wizards one.
I'm talking about the
Wizards one.
With the Bulls, we knew like he wasn't coming back, but there always was the idea that he could still play. So there was never really, this is it for Jordan and we're never going to see him again. Now, as far as these guys today, I'm thinking about, like you said, James, Curry. There aren't many other guys that I'm saying, okay, I'm interested in seeing what it looks like for him when he wraps it up. There aren't many guys that I can say that about, because there aren't many guys that I can
You have to be a potential top 10 player ever. And if you're questioning that about like Dr. J and whatever time period that was, Dr. J was probably
he was for sure top 10 at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
Top 5 at the time.
And I think it just comes with a level of prestige and influence, right? It's not that like you necessarily plan a farewell tour, just like Mars referenced Kobe. Like Kobe didn't even start the season saying like, "Oh yeah, this is my last year." But as soon as Kobe did, because he's Kobe Bryant, shit just started moving. It just started happening because he's that level of icon to the sport. Like all the players she'll just mentioned, Dr. J is an icon of the NBA, right? I think these are some of these players like Chris Paul and James Harden and Kawhi Leonard and etc. They're legends, right? They're legendary players. These are iconic figures, and I do think there is a difference in there. There's a difference between James Harden and Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Like these are icons of the sport. So, yeah, I think it should be reserved for them.